I wanted to share with you a few of the things that I've been learning from our instructors at VFX Apprentice. For those of you who may not know, we actually have a ton of content, over 200 hours of content in the All Access Pass. And I am only one of many people who are contributing to that content these days. I enjoy going through and learning from my peers, other people that are teaching the craft of effects. And so I'm just going to share a few of the bits of things that I really enjoyed as we go through this video. Also, stick around to the end because I'm going to preview some of the things that have not yet come out, but are currently in the works. All right, so first up, we have the 2D Effects Meme Lab by Milena Gonzalez. This is one of my favorite instructors that we have with us. I did an interview with her over on our YouTube channel as well. You can check that out. She's amazing, but she worked on such shows as Rick and Morty, The Cuphead Show, Ninja Turtles, and a bunch of others, and she's great. So one of the things that I learned from her before anything else is how much fun our profession is. That's very easy to forget when you're bogged down with like deadlines and approvals and really high bars and standards of quality that you're not sure you're going to be able to meet under those deadlines and approval constraints. These lessons are a ton of fun. And also Milena does a great job of going into like the different types of difficulty or the different tiers of cost that you can put into an effects animation. You could have 2 seconds of animation that you need to create, right? Obviously, it's not going to take you 2 seconds to build, but it might be a lot faster if you have a very low budget or not a lot of time. You're going to find shortcuts and simplifications to get it out the door faster. But then she also goes in all the way up to the most advanced of like, okay, you've got full budget. You want to put in all the time that you possibly can to polish it, make it gorgeous. We want award-winning quality, right? And that's going to take you much longer. So I'm really excited to see all the 2D effects stuff that y'all are going to create out there from your favorite memes. This kind of stuff, this is the fun stuff. You're just getting in and playing around. Next up, I want to talk about the production level effects breakdowns that Rubfish did. This guy is amazing. He's one of my very favorite artists. You should go look him up if you're not familiar with his work. And these lessons are definitely more intermediate to advanced. They're not totally for beginners, but they're a great thing to look forward to as a beginner to know, ooh, that's where I'm headed. I want to get through the intro content, the beginner content to move on to these. So what is it that I learned from these? Well, I gained a deep appreciation for the way that his mind works. Specifically talking about Rubfish, because every VFX artist is so unique, really breaking it down in front of your eyes, dismantling these effects for you to see. This is something I recommend if you want to specialize in effects and you're just getting started. It's handy to work in a project that allows you to do that. That was certainly how I learned at Riot Games, was like coming into a live project that was already fully functioning. I could look at other effects on League of Legends and study them and break them down and disassemble what these masterful artists did. Hugely valuable learning from other advanced artists. So I'm curious to hear which assets you've opened up recently and what you've learned from them. Go ahead and leave a comment below. Anything that comes to mind about, oh my gosh, I opened so-and-so's effect and I saw they did it this way and it blew my mind, getting inside of their mind. And yeah, it's some good stuff. So next I want to talk a little bit about Dan Elder's lessons on effects design and effects timing. These are based loosely off of the 12 principles of character animation, which are quite old and been around for a while, and we've adapted them to fit the needs of effects animation. So I still get something out of these every time I do a little refresher and look through Dan's lessons or even the lesson thumbnails. So I'm just going to share the thumbnails with you, and we're going to go through all 12 of them. So first off, we have intention. Intention is essentially you asking the question, what is the effect's purpose? Second one is physical properties. That's where you ask, what physical laws of the universe are going to govern this effect? And then you have composition, and that's where you ask, where and how does your effect exist in the world? Then there's solid drawing, which is a familiar one for those of you who know the 12 principles of character animation. And that's essentially all about how will you properly design your effect. Very critical for an effects artist to know about design. Then we have the number of frames. And that's where you ask, how will you wrangle the instantaneous and ever-changing elements? Then straight ahead and keyframing, where you wonder, what's your plan for controlling the effect over time? We move on to ease in and ease out, where you're going to solve the problem of which parts of the effect ease in and which parts ease out. Then there's anticipation. Does your viewer have enough build-up for a satisfying climax? Very important. Then we have impulse and rhythm. So is your effect a one-time blast, or does it have a recurring beat? Then we go on to follow through. Are you giving enough time for the payoff of your effect's motion? Then there's arcs. Where can you incorporate organic curves of motion into your effect? And finally, stretch and smear. Will you use smear frames when your effect is at its fastest? So that's a lot. It's probably worth regular repetition to go into these, and that's probably why I need to still be seeing them and I'm still getting something from them years later, is because there's a ton of things to keep in mind. But that's what I love about Dan's lessons, is they're nice and short, and he goes over each one. It's a great refresher for me and something that I continue to learn from today. All you teachers out there, I want you to listen really closely. When your students are asking in their math class, where in the world am I going to use this in my life? Your answer to them will be making shaders for video games. You're going to use math to make art for video games. So this series taught by Gabriel Bolu is amazing. And it takes you from total beginner, like addition, multiplication, basic math skills, up to making some beautiful imagery using shaders. They're also called materials in Unreal Engine. We also have another series coming up that's going to be the same thing, but taught in Unity, so that those of you who want to focus on Unity can. And of course, like any math, shaders can be a bit scary at first. I totally understand. There's a lot of things to learn, but the good news is you're visually guided all along the way. So shaders are awesome. I freaking love them. And Gabby does an amazing job of teaching them. So thanks, Gabby, for teaching me all about shaders. A lot of people ask me, Jason, with so much to learn and so many topics under the umbrella of effects animation, where do I start? If you head over to our learning pathways, also known as our Milanote page, linked in the description, there's some amazing stuff for you to have access to. Namely, if I come here, I can choose, do I want to be an effects artist for film, an effects artist for games, or I'm not sure. So based on what you know about what you want, you click this little information icon here, double click on that, and then I'm saying, probably want to be more of an artsy fellow. I'm going to go into the artsy path. And what do you know? It tells me, based on what I want to learn, what I want to get out of the world of effects, where to start, where to go, where it's going to lead, what I can expect. How about that? A beautiful thing that we've provided to you. It's finally out. You have no idea how long we've been working on this. It's tough with so much content to parse through and being added all the time. You're going to come in here and you're going to be learning along. You can actually click into these little information boxes and go straight in and watch a lesson. How about that? You can specialize, you can jump around, you can do all kinds of stuff. And yes, we are going to keep adding to this. We are going to keep hearing your feedback on this, modifying it, updating it, making it better, so that you never get lost, so that you always feel like you know what you're headed toward, you know where you've come from, and you can feel really, really proud about making your way down your own chart. So there you have it. We've been over so many things in such a short period of time, and I want you to believe me when I say there is so much more, and it's going to be fun, and you're going to love it. Your effects learning journey, it's a lifelong adventure, and we hope that you want to do part of it with us. As promised, I'm going to share with you a little bit of a preview of some of the upcoming stuff we've got. There's some really cool things coming out in the near future you'll be hearing more about shortly. So here's a little sizzle preview of what is to come. Okay, that's it for me for now. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you learned at least something new. I know I learned a lot of new stuff. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks, bye.